Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, my distinguished colleagues. My name is Vishnu Erlangga, and I'm very honored to present ADIL, AI-driven decision support for Indonesian tax code law, with my brilliant co-researchers, Mr. Bagas Wibowo, Mr. Punto Haryadi, and also Mr. Wisnu Agung Baroto. What you are about to see isn't just another AI project. This is a transformational system that's solving a 15-year-old crisis affecting millions of Indonesian taxpayers and threatening economic stability in Southeast Asia's largest economy. Let me show you the crisis first. Every year, over 14,000 tax disputes flood Indonesia's courts, and behind each number is a business frozen in uncertainty, a family's livelihood in limbo, government revenue in question. 3.07 years. That's how long, on average, it takes to resolve a single case. Imagine. Some stretch beyond a decade. We are looking at 210,000 cases spanning just 15 years, with 106.6 trillion rupiahs in disputed amounts from just a fraction of those cases. But here's what keeps me awake at night. We only have 46 judges managing this tsunami of litigations. There's over 300 cases per judge annually. An impossible burden. This isn't just inefficiency. This is a systematic erosion of justice, economic uncertainty, and public trust. And it's been getting worse every year. Why hasn't anyone solved this before? Four seemingly unsurmountable barriers have stopped every previous time. First, document chaos. Court opinions vary wildly in format different templates across years, chambers, even individual judges. Automated parsing? It's nearly impossible. And second, language. This isn't legal text based on English language that ChatGPT can handle properly or better. This is Bahasa Indonesia, my country's language, combined with specialist tax law terminology, a combination that eliminates 99% of the shelf of AI solutions. And the third, fragmented approaches. Previous attempts used either rigid rule-based systems that broke constantly, or pure AI that made unexplainable mistakes. Even both, never the precision and flexibility that legal analysis demands. And fourth, scale. Processing thousands of complex legal documents demands computational infrastructure that simply hasn't existed in our Indonesian tax code. These aren't just technical challenges. These are barriers to justice itself. These barriers motivated four critical research questions that challenge conventional wisdom about judicial AI. Number one, can we build a reliable hybrid pipeline that extracts rich, structured metadata from these unstructured legal documents? And our second research question is, how do different AI methods, rule-based patterns, transformer models, and large language models actually compare in this specific Indonesian legal context? And the third, and here's where it gets controversial, does judicial identity matter? Will including judges' identities as features improve prediction accuracy? This question makes people uncomfortable. It challenges assumptions about judicial objectivity itself, but if we are serious about evidence-based justice reform, we have to ask it. And the last, what are the policy implications? How do we translate technical findings into institutional change? Our hypothesis is bold. Integrating dramatic features with multi-layered AI will significantly outperform single method approaches. And that judicial variation is both measurable and actionable. Now, let me hand over to our friend, Mr. Bagas Wibowo, who will show you how we turned this into hypothesis into reality.
Thank you, Wisnu. Let me show you the engineering that make this work. ADIL employ 4-layer framework, each serving a critical function. The data layer is our foundation, ingesting messy legal documents, handling inconsistent formats, and crucially, implementing Chronos-like temporal integrity. Our model only learns from past data, preventing look-ahead bias that would inflate accuracy artificially. The analysis layer performs the intelligent geometric analytic, machine learning prediction, sharp explanation, and continuous drift detection. The ethical compliance layer sits above everything, monitoring bias, enforcing privacy, maintaining audit trail. This isn't optional. It is fundamental to legitimate AI in courts. The interface layer presents results through an intuitive dashboard with explainable AI, never overriding judges, always augmenting their wisdom. Here's where Adil framework truly innovates. We combine three complementary extraction methods, and this hybrid approach is why we are winning where the others maybe fail. Method 1, rule-based pattern matching. For structured element case number like date, legal citation, regex patterns achieve 94.1% precision, lightning fast at 8.3 document per second processing. But recall suffer at 76.2% because it's brittle when text becomes narrative. Method 2, transformer-based name entity recognition. We fine-tune Indobird and XLM Roberta on Indonesian legal text. This capture context that rule-based miss approximately 83.5 precision, 81.9% for recall, and it can process around 3.7 documents per second. Method 3, local LLM plotting using geometry. This handles complex semantic summarizing case facts, classifying dispute, extracting nuance reasoning. The performance, 88.9% precision, 91.2% recall, but slower than the other methods. It processes around 1.2 documents per second. Now, here is the critical insight. No single method dominates. Rule-based excel at structure document. NAIR excel at capture context, but LLM understand semantic document. By combining all of these three with intelligent voting mechanism, we achieve around 92.3% precision, 89.7% recall, and 91% F1 score across 49 metadata fields. We process the entire 4,377 case corpus in hours, not months. This is production-ready technology. Implementation detail matter for reproducibility and deployment. We run the system on a containerized Docker framework, ensuring consistent deployment across any environment. We use sophisticated hardware. We use Intel Core Ultra 9 processor, NVIDIA RTX 5090 GPU for transformer acceleration, and we use 128 GB DDR5 memory. This configuration handles intensive NLP and simultaneous model training. Why? We use local deployment. 2 words. Data sovereignty. Tax-code decision contains sensitive information. Processing locally eliminates cloud dependencies and ensure compliance with Indonesia data protection law. No data ever leave the secure environment. The system maintains complete provenance tracking. Every extraction, every model decision, every transformation is logged and auditable. This isn't just good engineering. It is essential for judicial system where transparency isn't optional, it is mandatory. Our dataset, we use 4,377 tax court decision documents, spanning from 2008 to 2023. We applied Slovene formula with 5% margin of error, ensuring statistical representativeness from over 210,000 total cases. We extract 49 distinct metadata fields such as case identifier, temporal marker, financial data, judge panel, legal citation, dispute classification, and crucially, outcome and resolution times. Validation use an 800 case with gold case standard. Why we call it case gold standard? Because we manually annotated all of this document by legal expert. We split data chronologically. The latest 20% held out for testing, evaluation, preventing temporal leakage that would artificially inflate performance. Every pre-processing step is documented: HTML cleaning, Unicode, normalization, section segmentation, language detection. This transparency enables reproducibility and build confidence in our result. Now, let me show you what this system can actually predict. For outcome classification, we test 6 machine learning algorithms. Look at this result in the table. The best one is gradient boosting. It has 97% accuracy, precision, recall, and F1 score. This isn't just marginally better. This is production-grade performance. XGBoost follow closely at 97% accuracy. Random forest at 95%. Neural network and SVM trail at 89%, with logistic regression at 83%. Tree ensemble method consistently dominate because they capture complex interaction between variables such as case attribute, dispute types, and crucially, judicial tendencies that linear model simply cannot learn. But here's what makes this truly revolutionary. Judge variable, the judge is matters. Look at this number. When we exclude judge feature, gradient boosting achieve only 86% accuracy. Good, but not great. When we include judge as a feature, it improved to 97% accuracy. That's an 11 percentage point jump. So let's see the other model. XGBoost, it's improved by 11%. Random forest, it's improved by 12%. Neural networks, it improved by 16%. This isn't about calling out individual judges. This is about revealing measurable, systematic variation in judicial behavior that has never quantified before. Some panel composition consistently favor taxpayer. Others favor the government. Some case facts different outcome. This is the definition of inconsistency that undermines rule of law. But here's the opportunity. What we can measure, we can improve. Targeted training, optimize panel composition, and last but not least, evidence-based judicial education. Let's move to duration prediction result. Our framework show that duration prediction is harder than win rate outcome classification. Why? Because cases vary widely in complexity and procedural delays. Our base model, again, gradient boosting, achieve an R-square of 0.93, explaining 93% of variance in case duration. RMSE of just 0.64 years, meaning our predictive model are typically within 7 to 8 months of actual resolution time. Including judge feature, improve R-square by 0.05 to 0.1 points. Top predictive feature are case complexity, dispute amount, and of course, judge panel composition. This thing matters for resource allocation. Courts can identify which case should that systematically take longer time to finish and deploy resource strategically. Let's move to feature importance. Feature importance analysis reveal what truly drive decision. The top predictors are judge identity, dispute class, tax type, dispute amount, and tax year. We use sharp value, shapely additive explanation from game theory to explain individual prediction. For any case, we show which feature push the decision toward win, lose, or partially win, and by exactly how much. This transparency is transformative. Judges see the data pattern underlying recommendation. Lawyer understand their case position relative to precedents. Taxpayer gain realistic expectation. We have quantified judicial variation scientifically. Some judges have measurably different win rate across similar case cluster, difference of several percentage point. We don't report specific judge in this model. We only show the statistically, publicly, what would be ethically fraud. But the capability exists to monitor consistency, identify outlier, and support evidence-based training. Now, Mr. Punto Haryadi will show you how we translate this technical achievement into real-world impact.
Thank you, Bagas. Let me connect this technology to transformational policy reform. Adil enabled three critical pillars of judicial modernization. Pillar 1 is about efficiency. Automated triage routes, simple cases to expedite process, freeing judicial capacity for complex litigation. Predictive analytics help lawyers make data-driven decisions about appeals, potentially reducing frivolous challenge by 30 until 40%. Resource optimization means complex cases get the attention they deserve. Pillar 2 is about consistency. We can now identify divergent patterns across judge panels and provide targeted training. Balance expertise across chambers, establish evidence-based norms derived from 15 years of actual case data, not only anecdotal impression. And pillar 3 is transparency. For the first time, Indonesia's tax adjudication becomes data-driven and publicly auditable. Researchers can analyze fairness trends. Journalists can investigate systemic patterns, and also citizens can hold the system accountable. This isn't just court efficiency. This is institutional transformation that strengthens rules of law and economic stability. Now, I'll be honest about obstacles, because acknowledging challenge shows we are serious about the implementation. Challenge 1, algorithmic bias. If historical decisions contain unconscious bias, AI will codify them. So our ethical compliance layer continuously monitor SHAP summaries, flags unfair pattern for human reviews. We define bias impact threshold. Exceeding them triggers comprehensive stakeholder evaluation. Challenge 2, the cultural resistance. Judges may distrust systems because the systems maybe appear as a threat on traditional authority. We position Adil explicitly as decision support, never as a replacement. Gradual integration start with statistical reporting, then second opinion capabilities. Judges will always retain final authority, always. Challenge 3, data quality. AI requires clean, consistent inputs. Even Indonesian tax decision record has a wide variation. Our Adil implement validation rules, completeness metrics, and error flagging. Poor data gets quarantined, not processed blindly. What makes Adil distinctive in the global landscape of legal AI? Language specific, purpose-built for Bahasa Indonesia and Indonesian tax law, not an English system, retrofitted and hoping for the best. Second is hybrid architecture. 3 methods in one auditable pipeline: rules, NER, and LLM. Most international platforms rely on single method approach that meets the complexity. Privacy first. Local deployment ensures data sovereignty. No cloud dependency, no data leaving Indonesia, and full PDPL compliance. And last, the explainable AI. Every prediction includes transparent sharp reasoning, similar case citation, confidence scores, so no black box. This isn't just technologically sophisticated. It's culturally appropriate, legally compliant, and institutionally viable for Indonesian courts. Methodological rigor underpins everything. Fivefold stratified cross-validation ensures model generalized across time periods and case types. Stability analysis show narrow variance for 3 ensembles. They maintain consistent performance. Our temporal validation split training on historical data, testing on recent case mimics real-world deployment. The model predicts forward in time, not interpolate within shuffled dataset. This is the gold standard for predictive validation. Now we're talking about ethical framework and governance. Legal AI carries profound ethical responsibilities. Our governance framework addresses this comprehensively. Privacy, the context-aware anonymization, asterisk masking for judge's name while maintaining consistent pseudonyms for analysis. Re-identification risk quantified and monitored. The fairness, sharp audits for disparate impact. Bias impact threshold trigger mandatory review involving judges, legal scholars, and civil society, not just technologies. Transparency, complete audit trails for every data transformation, model decision, system recommendation, so the post hoc investigation capabilities if question arise. And the last is stakeholder oversight. We involve judges, academics, and civil society representative in ethical governance decision. AI in court isn't value neutral. It embeds assumption about fairness, justice, and authority. Making those assumptions explicit and contestable is essential for legitimate deployment. This work opens exciting research avenues. Panel dynamics modeling, understanding three-judge interaction, seniority effect, expertise combination through network analysis. Temporal validation, continuous drift detection, automated retraining protocols, prediction confidence decay quantification. Cross-jurisdiction expansion, adapting to criminal, civil, administrative courts, and enabling comparative jury metrics across Indonesian judicial system. Advanced AI techniques, actually not that advanced, but few-shot learning for rare categories, model comparison for efficiency, enhanced multilingual capabilities. So each direction demands interdisciplinary collaboration, and we're ready. Let's zoom out to the transformative potential. What are they? The core layer, faster case resolution, make the business confident, predictable governance revenue, and also optimal judicial resource deployment. The middle layer of evidence-based training, informed panel composition, similar case treated similarly, and rule of law strengthened. Outer layer, predictable dispute resolution, encourage foreign investment, support economic development, and of course, public trust restored. Indonesia's investment climate depends on transparent, efficient justice. Prolonged tax litigation creates uncertainty that discourages billions in foreign direct investment. By improving adjudication quality and speed, we're not just fixing costs, we are strengthening Indonesia's economic foundation. This is the data for policy mission realized. Computational tools strengthening governance in emerging economies. Realizing this vision requires partnerships. We are actively seeking collaboration from academic partners, technical partners, policy stakeholders, and also from international benchmarkers. We've built a proof of concept demonstrating feasibility and impact, turning this into sustained institutional reform that requires collective effort. Let me crystallize our contribution. 1. Hybrid AI achieved 92% extraction precision across 49 metadata fields. We've solved the technical extraction problem. 2. Judge identity matters. 11 until 16% accuracy improvement. We've quantified what practitioners suspected but couldn't measure. 3. 97.53% outcome prediction accuracy with explainable reasoning. This is actionable intelligence for courts, lawyers, and taxpayers. 4. Policy-ready framework for transparency, efficiency, and consistency. And all of this ready for deployment, not just as a research. So, hypothesis confirmed, ADIL, hybrid method pipeline, significantly outperforms single method system. 14,000 annual disputes affect millions of taxpayers and billions in government revenue. So reducing resolution times by even 20% would have enormous economic and social value. And Thank you for your attention and for the opportunity to present at Data for Policy.